This is Into the Night. Our conference call will begin shortly. The conference call will begin in just a moment. Welcome to our November 15th conference call at Into the Night. Thank you for joining us.
You give me a word, and the word you gave me is what brought me back to the Lord. And so prophecy has been used a great deal in my life with the Lord. And that particular person shared a David Wilkerson book with me called Set the Trumpet to Thy Mouth. So, and I also read the book The Vision by David Wilkerson. So I already had kind of a groundwork that was pointed toward prophetic last end time day, I guess you could say. And that was something I was very spiritually attuned to. And so when I read Dumitru's message, it made great impression on me. Now, when I first read the book, I wasn't married then. It was probably a year before I got married. And I think Dumitru put a revised edition of his book out and changed the title name just a little bit. I can't remember exactly how that was, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So when I got the revised book, I had just gotten married. I'd only been married probably 6 months, if that long. And I remember sitting out at that house reading the newest edition of his book. And I noticed at the end of the book, his personal phone number was in the book. And, you know, you could call this number. And when I read the back part of the page there that said, where Dumitru asked the Lord, he said, well, how am I going to be able to, you know, because the Lord told him, I'm going to send you to my people in America, and you're going to give them this message that I'm giving you. And he was like, well, how is that going to happen? I can't speak the language, and I don't know anybody here. And the Lord told him, because I'm going to lay it on the hearts of those that I love to call you, contact you, and you are going to be on various media, and you're going to get the message to many people are going to hear. You all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I don't know what that was. I've never had that happen before.
Okay.
Go
Mine
ahead.
is pressed on because God's word isn't going to be stopped.
Amen. You just keep on going.
So, and that's our attitude too. I have to get in another conversation with you all another time about some recent things that maybe have to do with some of this. But anyway, so that's what I did. Here I was. I was married for the first and only time. I had 3 sons that were not quite teenagers. One of them had gotten into some trouble. He had been in some trouble. And but I married. I wasn't married when I had my children. So anyway, I called the number. I felt impressed to call the number. So I called the number. I told my husband, I said, I'm going to call this number and see if this man would come here and get his message. And I called the number, and his daughter answered the phone. And his daughter speaks some English. She can speak fairly good English. And she said, I will tell my father what you have asked, and he will pray about it, and we will let you know it. So it was just that simple. And I think it was only a couple days later, I got a return phone call from her, and she said, my father said he will come. So, you know, I had to give the details for where I live, what airport we could pick him up at, that kind of thing. And if my memory serves me right, he came in March of 91. when I called him, January of 91. And I put an ad in the local paper. And in the local paper, it was just something really simple, but it covered all the points. And I just put Romanian pastor exiled to America for smuggling Bible into Russia. He has a message for America, and I gave the times and dates where he would be speaking. And in the meantime, before he got here, I got a phone call from a church in Baltimore, Maryland. And Dumitru had been there the previous year, I think. And, you know, when they called me about, you know, him coming to West Virginia, they kind of treated me like, do you realize who it is that you have invited there and who he is? You know, like, they kind of treated me like, do you have any idea at all? Because if he's coming there, you need to make sure he's speaking somewhere every single night. And if you don't have some place for him to speak every single night, you need to bring him down here any days that you don't have him booked. So, you know, I didn't know anything. I didn't have money. I didn't have resources. I mean, I didn't. So, I had local people here who kind of looked at me like they couldn't see past my past, let's put it that way. And they were, just to say bluntly, they were judgmental. They, you know, were being very critical about the fact that I invited this man here and basically interrogated him. I went to my friend, they came to my friend Ellen's house, and the first night that Dumitru arrived, or maybe the second night, I can't remember, it was when we came to Moorfield. They did. They met there at her house, and they basically tried to interrogate him a little bit. And the Holy Spirit showed him what they were about. The Holy Spirit showed him that they had unbelief. Basically, he, you know, kind of told him that. And he wasn't moved by that. He wasn't moved at all by their attitudes or anything. And it didn't stop a lot of people from coming to hear what he had to say. But what my husband and I had to do, we had an old green Dodge, wasn't very comfortable, but we asked Diana, whose phone I'm talking on right now, we asked her if we could borrow her car to pick him up at Dulles Airport in D.C. And that's where we picked up him and his grandson, Mike. And Mike was like 15, almost 16, I think. When we picked him up, Dumitru and Mike got in the back seat. Well, the first thing Dumitru did, because, you know, he didn't know us, we didn't know him, the first thing he did was he tried to break the ice. So he asked a question. He said, who was the happiest man in the Bible? Who was the happiest man in the Bible? So my husband and I are looking at each other. We're in the front seat. We're kind of thinking, he's quizzing us. You know? So we took it really seriously, and I started to answer, and he immediately told me, no, he pointed to me, and Michael told me, he said, no, not you. He's asking your husband. And I learned the week I spent with Dumitru that there is protocol in the European, because Dumitru is from Europe, and there's a protocol over there that Americans don't have here. And that is, and it really is scriptural, and I learned to appreciate it. But it was, a woman does not overspeak her husband, or, you know, it's very biblical. But, you know, being an American female who had been married very long and was always kind of independent in everything, I had to learn to kind of, you know, not try to take lead in anything. And because I was married, and, that husband now. And but anyway, here was the answer to his question. The answer to his question was, it was Adam because he didn't have a mother-in-law. So Dumitru had a great sense of humor, and he made us laugh a lot of times while we were with him. But what we did, the first place we went to, is using Diana's car, we took him to Charleston, West Virginia, to the church that the man that God used to bring, to help me get back to the Lord, the prophet. He took me. That's where we first took Dumitru. And Dumitru, he didn't stay in other people's homes. He did initially when he first started going out speaking, but Michael let us know that my grandfather doesn't like staying in people's homes because in America, most people that he has met, they have a lot of animals in their home. They have X amount of dogs, X amount of cats. He said he stayed in one home in California where they had birds, cats, dogs, they had everything. And, Dumitru, he didn't have anything against pets, but he just felt like pets really did not necessarily belong inside of a home, especially as many as he's seen. So he preferred to just rent hotel rooms or whatever on his own. He didn't ask, he never asked us for any money while he was here. He paid for his plane trip here. He paid for his plane trip back. He took care of all the meals while we were on the road. He took care of his own hotel bills, motel bills, wherever he stayed. He was a very humble person. He was very, when I met him, he wasn't a very tall man, and I was married to a man of 6'6.5". And I was 6 foot tall then. I shrunk a little. But Dumitru was probably only 5'7", maybe, something like that. And he,
line unmuted.
Excuse me, I knew if I had to do a lot of talking, I'd end up coughing a little bit. If I had to do a lot of talking. Anyway, when we took him to Charleston, he preached, I think he preached there twice, because my memory serves me right. I think he preached there the night that we got there, later on, and I think we took him right back in the next morning, which was a Sunday, and he preached the second half. What he usually liked to do was give half of the message, and then come back the next day to do the second half. And the reason he did that was because his grandson's translating, and it takes a lot of time, especially if somebody's repeating after you. So that's what he did at Johnny. And Johnny Whitbray's fellowship in Charleston, West Virginia. And there was a couple highlighted things that happened there. One was on Sunday morning, Dumitru had, I called a pet peeve, sort of. I mean, I don't know what anybody else would call it, but he had this thing about cigarettes because he used to be addicted to cigarettes. And when he gave his life to the Lord, he got delivered from cigarettes. And, he just had a thing about cigarettes. And I guess he saw a lot of Americans, even people that went to church and Christians, he saw people smoking cigarettes. So every service that he went to that I can remember that week, he gave a kind of a deliverance call about cigarettes, and that's what he would say. He would come up to before he even gave the message or preach or anything, he would go to the front of the church, and he would just say things like, I feel And that, I mean, that was how it would happen. Well, a lady, maybe it was a lady and a man, I specifically remember a lady, came up to the front of Johnny's fellowship, and she brought her cigarettes with her. She threw them on the floor, and Dumitru prayed with her. And I remember she came back later to the back where my husband and I were, and she came up to us and she said, "This is the best service I have ever been to." And, you know, I told my husband, I said, well, you know, I said, the reason she's saying that is she was not delivered from something. And, you know, that is an exciting thing when you get delivered from something. So, now, Johnny didn't quite see eye to eye with that type of thing, calling out, you know, cigarettes, but I thought it was just awesome the way that he did that. So after Charleston, we brought him to Moorfield, and we had already heard from the church in Baltimore. We had to take him there 2 different days. And like I said, we didn't have resources. Now, Michael pointed out in Diana's car when we were getting ready to drive from Charleston to Moorfield, he said, my grandfather's leg still bothers him from where he was tortured. You know, they still bother him. He said, it would be, if you don't mind, it would be better if you could set up in the front where he would have more leg room. And I was like, I was so embarrassed. I had no idea. And I was like, sure, of course, you know. So he rode in the front seat going up from Charleston to Moorfield. And, you know, he would make conversation, you know, and Mike would just translate, you know, for Mark and I, you know, on the road and on the trip and everything. And when we got up to Moorfield, we had 2 different days that we did not have him booked to speak. So we took him to Baltimore one of the days, and I think that was before he preached in Moorfield, before and right after. So when we took him to Baltimore, that church there, it was a black church that rolled out the red carpet for him. He had been there before, and they had a really nice suite of rooms for him, expensive suite of rooms for him, reserved, and they were going to put us in a nearby motel room. And Dumitru said, no. He said, I don't want the suite. He said, you put the family here in the suite and let Mike and I have the motel room. He just utterly refused. He put other people first. He refused to take the real nice rooms. He put us in the real nice room. That church is awesome to us. They provided, some of the best food, you know, you can imagine, for all of us to eat. We did, you know, we had him there the one day. We come back up. The Baltimore's like, I don't know, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours from here, something like that. And when we brought him back up here, he was going to go to, we had a church that we were able to use. And in that church here in Moorfield, which is just a humble little church, you know, not real big, but there were all kinds of people from all different denominations that came to hear him. And I was actually a little surprised to see how many people did come out to hear him. And he did the thing where he tells half the message, and then he tells everybody, I'll be back tomorrow night if you want to hear the rest of what the message is, you know. And he invited everybody back the next night. He also had his book with him, and you could get a book for basically what it cost to print them. It wasn't very much, it was only a few dollars. And just about everybody that came to hear him bought the book. And there were people that donated money. And, you know, the lady who gave me the cassette tape in the book to start with, when she found out, because it blew her mind that he actually came here to give the message, she just was beside herself. And she came up that night that with her, and I don't know how much money she gave him, but I imagine it was a lot of money. And she wanted to personally give it to him and shake his hand. And she, like I say, she was just beside herself. She just, couldn't believe it. So the night that he preached in Moorfield, the next day during the day, I lived in a big old plantation house. It was a house we rented, but it was like one of the most places I've ever lived. And it had a beautiful view. It had a gigantic yard. It's the oldest house down the road here. It's called Oldfield. It's the oldest plantation-style house that way. And Mike wanted to drive that old green car around the yard, which is like, we had a great big yard, and he could drive a car around it or whatever. And I had a picture of him. The pictures that we took weren't really good pictures, but I have a picture of him driving that green car, and my son Nathan, I think, is beside of him in the front seat. And Mike was just real excited about getting his driver's license pretty soon. And Dumitru was going to cook a Romanian meal for us. And I invited my friend Ellen, my sister in the Lord Ellen, her daughter Melanie, and her husband Donnie came down. And actually, Ellen gave me some insights that she gained from Dumitru that I'll share with you. But anyway, Dumitru put on an apron. We had I think Mark had an apron. One of us had an apron. He put on an apron. He made homemade, from scratch, Romanian mushroom soup, which I love. I made a couple of dishes, but I mean, this guy, he could cook. I mean, he cooked from scratch, kind of like Stephanie Bailey's food. I love looking at her food online. But he was a really good cook. And during that time he was in our kitchen, I made a remark that I've repeated to people several times that he told me. In Dumitru's book and in his message, you find out that he had many encounters with angels. And there was one angel in particular he saw over and over again in Romania when he was being tortured and almost died, that ministered to him. And I learned from him, Johnny Whitbread both, that when you see an angel, if you do see an angel, Dumitru, this is what Dumitru said to me, because I just naively said, I want to see an angel. I'd love to see an angel. He turned around and looked at me, and I mean a very serious look when he looked at me. He said, if you do, you'll pay a price. And that really stuck with me, just thinking about it, because angels are ministers that God sends to minister to God's people. Now, they can bring revelation, and they can bring prophecy, revelation, whatever, they can bring a message to you. They can also come to you. God can send them because you need healed. And, Dumitru experienced the healing. And the Lord's been speaking to me through a sister yesterday about suffering. And, Jesus had opposition everywhere he went. And if we're going to give everything we have to him, we are going to suffer. So, Dumitru suffered a lot. And, he made another remark too, but I can't honestly tell you if it was something I read in the book or I heard him actually say to me. I don't remember that, but, after all that he went through, maybe you would think, being over here in America and going around telling a message, that maybe things was getting a little easier for him. But actually things got harder for Dumitru. He mentioned that things got harder. And when his wife died later, a while after I'd met him, he struggled with that a lot. And I've read that in a newsletter or in a book, I'm not sure. But he struggled a lot with his wife's death. He was very, very close to his wife. told me something else that was very serious about my children. And he pointed out about Derek, and he said, you need to keep him separated from the twins, because Derek had a very strong spirit of rebellion, and he could easily lead the twins down a bad path, because he was very rebellious, and that was something Dumitru discerned, about Derek. So we went and did the second night in Moorfield, and then I believe we went back to Baltimore. He was somewhere every single day speaking his message. The last message he spoke was in the Church of God in Morganville, which is, it's in the county I live in, and it's a pastor and his wife that I've known for a while. It's like, I don't know, 35 minutes from here. And it's a very, very, very small town, very small town. And he preached there, and I believe there was a lot of people that came to hear him there, too. And, some of the things that happened along the way, like going to Baltimore, some of the funny things that happened were, this van that, I didn't get to tell you the story, because this was a really good story. We, like I said, we had no resources. We didn't have money. We really didn't even have money, much money. And Dumitru's legs really did bother him. And, obviously the Lord knew that. And the Lord provided a very, very nice van for us to do business with, with Dumitru. He got a really comfortable seat with lots of room in the van. We had lots of room where me and my husband, Mike, and the boys that came with us, and it belonged to the postmaster in town. And he didn't come to hear to me. Him and his wife didn't come to hear to me to speak. But the amazing thing was, they loaned us the van so we could take him around. And it was just like an awesome provision from the Lord. I mean, he just provided, and he met the need. He took care of his anointed servant, So, one of the funny things from the way to Baltimore was Dumitru, there was a CD in that car. Now, you don't realize this was back in 1991. CDs were, back in the 70s, CDs were like a phase, where everybody had CDs in their cars and everywhere. And there was a CD in the van, and Dumitru picked up the mic, and he started speaking Russian into it. Not Romanian, but Russian into it. And Mike was laughing, and I said, what's he saying? And Mike said, oh, he's preaching in Russia. In Russian. And the truck drivers, it was so funny because we could hear the truck drivers, Dumitru get on there and do these things, and you hear these truck drivers, they come back, and you hear this one truck driver say, man, I think there's some Filipinos on here, aren't there? And we laughed so hard. They didn't recognize that, Dumitru was speaking Russian. But he would just do funny things like that. And like, the day we took him back to the airport, him and Mike to the airport, he took us to get food, get everybody something to eat. And we went into a KFC, and my husband, like I said, he's 6'6" and a half, and a real big guy, So Dumitru did speak a little bit of English, but he didn't really speak much of it, but he could say a few words. And when he ordered the food, he ordered this big bucket of chicken, and we were like, what on earth? And he looked at the cashier, and he goes, big man, big chicken. Like that. And we just laughed so hard. Some of the stuff he would say. And, he tried to give me and Mark advice on how to lose weight. And the advice was, just don't eat anything after dark. He said, just don't eat after dark. And I thought, wow. Like, well, that's pretty simple. also with my sister Ellen, just a couple of her thoughts, what she gleaned spending time with Dimitri. And she told me the things that impressed her most were how unattached he was to this world. He was not attached to this world at all. He was unmoved by this world. And he had a very serious, he was a very serious man, no foolishness. Now, he had a sense of humor, and that was a great thing, to go along with the seriousness. He could be lighthearted and smile a lot and tell jokes here and there. But when it came to the message, and when he would get up and talk and tell that, very, very serious, very serious. And she said, the other thing she said was, she mentioned the angel thing again. She said, seriousness, when an angel is present, that suffering, that in the suffering is where we see the power of God. When we suffer, that's when we see the power of God. That was something that she learned from Dimitri's life and his story. I'm gonna see if Dina has something else she wants to ask. I'm trying to look over and see if I left anything out.
Well, I think that since we're going into the second hour, we'll just transition into telling a little bit more about what he did actually go through. For those that didn't read the book or haven't, been able to spend a lot of time on the website, and then just go into his message, his visions, just how the Lord leads you, just to go into his message. And there was a time with Dumitru Duduman. If you didn't hear him speak, you heard of him, and and a lot of word of mouth, a lot of people there was a lot of buzz going on during that time about him, and whether or not his prophecies were true, or that they were, or whatever. He was on the Prophecy Club, which was a popular program at the time, and he would go to the businessmen's, I think it was international businessmen's meetings, Christian businessmen meetings, and he was known for going through that circuit. So, but yeah, Roxanne, just go ahead and give us a little bit more about his background and how he came into America, and how the Lord began to reveal to him the message he was going to need to be, preached to us. I think it's also interesting to note that it was 1984 where this began for him, where he was sent to America, and that 1984, the book or the movie or whatever, it's just interesting that everybody was looking to see what 1984 was going to look like. And a lot of the dreams and visions, including the visitation that I had that I'll tell about sometime in the future, a lot of people document having these encounters in 1984. And I have one, I have a couple of them. And he had the beginning of this whole thing with America, his message, began in 1984. So that's kind of interesting that the Lord, there was something about that year. It just turns out to be a very prophetic year for a lot of people that had dreams and visions about America's future.
Yeah, I've read that. Well, probably quite a few times. Not a lot recently, but I know a lot of things obviously by heart. So I'm just going to tell you, start out just telling you that Dimitri, like what Dina said earlier, he came from a very devout Christian family. And from what I understand, they were people that fasting was a normal thing for them, and they could fast for days, They were he didn't want to serve God. He ran off to join the Navy. And actually, he sort of reminds you of Paul a little bit in the fact that he persecuted Christians. Or, you know, if somebody's trying to smuggle Bibles on the ship or anything like that, he was happy to tell on us, you know, from what I remember reading the story. But his family was back in Romania, and they were fasting and praying for him. And, you know, he had an encounter with the Lord on the ship. And I believe it was an angelic encounter, but he ended up surrendering everything and giving his life to the Lord. And in doing that, he was called to help smuggle Bibles into Russia. See, back in those days, that was back during what they called an encounter with the Lord on the ship. And I believe it was an angelic encounter, but he ended up surrendering everything and giving his life to the Lord. And in doing that, he was called to help smuggle Bibles into Russia. See, back in those days, that was back during what they called the Cold War and the Iron Curtain. It was like where now you can take Bibles into Russia, it's not a problem. But back then, Bibles were not allowed in that country. And actually, Romania was communist too, where Dumitru was from. And he had some amazing stories about Bible smuggling. One of them in particular that I remember a couple of them, but one of them in particular I remember was where he had all these Bibles in the trunk of the car, and the Russian guards stopped him at the border, and they recognized him, and they knew him, and I think they knew the things that he had been doing, and they stopped him, and they said, "What are you doing, Dimitri? You know, what are you coming through for?" And Dimitri just told him the truth. He just said, "Oh, I'm bringing in a bunch of Bibles," you know. He just told him that. And the amazing thing is that the Holy Spirit blinded their eyes to where they didn't see the Bible, because they kind of laughed when he said, "Oh, really? You're bringing in Bibles?" Yeah, there were some amazing things that happened. But, you know, he also was tortured, imprisoned, brutally tortured. And at one point, he was basically on his deathbed. But, you know, God sent an angel to minister to him, to strengthen him. He still suffered. He still had, like I was telling you earlier, he still had problems with his leg, and maybe his feet too, from what they did to him, beating the bottom of his feet, I think, and what they did to him in prison. But, you know, I can't remember every little detail, so I'm going to jump ahead to what happened as far as why he comes to America. He is basically told by the Romanian government, you have got, you know, basically you can't stay here. You're either going to die in prison or you can go to America, you know. And so, you know, that was the Lord making a way for him to come to America, because God was preparing a message for him to carry and tell this country. Whoever had ears to hear. And so Dimitri was not happy at all, and his family wasn't happy at all about the fact they had to leave Romania. And they came to the United States. They were, I forget, I'm trying to think of the name of, it seemed like it started with an F, the town in California that they lived in. I've heard of it before, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But they found an apartment. He was very disturbed by the apartment because it smelled like dog urine, and he said, you know, he had made the remark that in America it was easier to find a place to live if you had pets than if you had children. But anyway, they didn't have any They had no furniture. They had nothing. And it was during that time that the angel came and gave him the message for America. And what he was doing was he was very upset. He was outside that apartment. His wife was inside crying. His daughter and grandsons and son-in-law were all in the apartment. They were all miserable. And, you know, Dimitri's like, why, God? Why did you bring me here to this country? I can't speak the language. Why didn't you just let me die in my country? You know, I was, you know, like he would have been happy to just die in his own country. But, you know, God had a plan. So why Dimitri's complaining, why he's grieving about having to come here, he sees this light. He sees this light down the road. It looks like it was in the road. And at first he thought, oh no, they found out where I am here in America, the Romanian police, because because he'd been chased and hunted down so many times by them. He thought that that's what was happening because the light it was coming toward him. And but that wasn't what it was. It was an angel. And the angel told him to step up on whatever the angel was on. He was going to take him somewhere. And Dimitri obeyed, and the angel took him above this country and showed him New York, Florida, Las Vegas, and California. And each time he showed him these places, the angel would say, this is Sodom and Gomorrah. And in one day it will burn. One day it will burn. So the angel told Dimitri, he said, you are going to tell this message to the Americans and tell them to repent of their sin and draw close to the Lord and follow God and stay away and keep free from sin, because this is going to happen. And, you know, he said, Dimitri said, but how? I don't speak the language here. How can I go and tell people when I don't speak the language? And the angel told him, you know, he said, people will call, people will contact you, and you will go to these places and you will tell the message. And Dimitri asked the angel, he said, how do I know what you're telling me is true? So the angel gave him, I think it was 3 different things. He said, tomorrow you will get a bed and you'll get a pot of, I don't know if it was honey or what it was. I can't remember now. It seemed like it was a pot of honey. And I can't remember the third thing. There was 3 things he told him he would have. Things, you know, one after another. And all 3 of those things came to pass right after when the angel told him it would be. So he verified that, you know, the angel was telling the truth, and he was from God, and that's how it started, and that's what happened. People began, you know, I think Dimitri started speaking in California probably first. There were some Romanians there that he did meet when he first came there. So I know that he had some pretty interesting places that invited him to speak. One of them was a church in Utah, a Mormon church, which Dimitri really didn't know anything about Mormonism, you know. But, you know, he went there, and he preached the truth, you know. And I think the most interesting one that I knew of that he went to was a homosexual church, all men. It was a homosexual church. Invited him in California to come and give his message. Well, Dimitri agreed to come. He had no idea that it was a homosexual church. And when he got there, as soon as he got inside, he said, yeah, right away he knew. Then he said, oh my goodness, you know, it was like, this is a church of homosexuals. But he stayed, and he got up, and the Lord gave him, he said when he got up on the stage where the pastor was, also know in this country that sin is being blatantly flaunted in front of everybody. It's being flaunted, without any hesitation at all. So from the time Dumitru came here to West Virginia in 1991, and fast forward to this day that we're living in right now, things have drastically gotten worse. I mean, drastically gotten worse. So, I'm trying to think here of some other details about his story. Like Dina mentioned, he was on Prophecy Club. I thought maybe he was on CBN, or maybe on a 700 Club. Seems like I remember that maybe he was one. He was on radio. I know he was on radio in Florida and some other places. He got to travel all over this country. And after we met him, I think it was after we met him, they started a orphanage over in Romania. That's part of the ministry he did. And Americans here in the beginning from all over would donate things to can't think of the name of them. They're the containers. They're like the trailer, part of the tractor trailer. They were containers that were that size, and they would ship them over to Romania. And that reminds me of another story where Dumitru, it cost X amount of money to ship those containers over to Romania. And there was one particular time when Dumitru, they didn't have the money, and they had a deadline, and this money had to be paid, or the shipment wouldn't go out. And his daughter was fretting, his wife, I think, maybe was fretting too, but everybody in the family was all fretting about, what are we going to do? We don't have that money. We don't have enough money to send the container, And Dumitru was supposed to be sitting in his recliner or rocking chair, whatever. It was something like that. He was supposed to be sitting in that, and he was just calm and he just trusted God. He said, the Lord is going to provide. He didn't sweat it. He didn't have one doubt about it. He knew the Lord was going to provide. Well, what God did was he gave this woman, a very wealthy woman over there in California, a dream, and told her she needed to give a certain amount of money to Dumitru. And she didn't know Dumitru. She didn't know anything about him. She wasn't even a Christian. I don't think she was even a Christian. And God said, I'm going to show you who he is and where he lives. And she knew beyond a shadow of doubt she had to do this. So she comes and finds him and knocks on the door, and when they let her in, she goes straight over to Dumitru and she said, God gave me a dream, and I have to give you this money. That's how he got the money to send that container. There's probably a lot more stories than what he even put in the book, but that was one of the stories that I thought was really trying to draw to him, they're drawn by his love. So we have to let his love flow through us. But I read again the last three messages that he gave, and they were, one of them was actually like a prophetic message more than a vision or a dream, and one of them was about the bear awake, and I have it here on my laptop. There's three last, because he passed away in 1997. I don't even like saying passed away. I say that. The truth is, you have went on to be with the Lord. Or like this one brother of mine said, he went on up ahead. You know, he went on up ahead of us. So the first one is called the lawless one. That was the first of the three final messages given to Dumitru in 1997. And then the second one was Fight the Good Fight. And then the third one is called The Bear Awake. I don't know if Dina wants me to go over those or not.
Yeah. We've got time.
Let me see.
Yeah, we've got 30 minutes, so.
It's kind of short. It says, I have spoken to you as a father speaks to his own children. I have shown you what will be, that you may prepare your hearts and strengthen your spirits for the day of battle. Dark days are soon coming upon the earth, days of mourning and of great sadness. I tarry for those who seek me with a pure heart. I give strength to those who seek me continually. The lawless one has been prepared, and he is ready to reveal himself. He awaits his release. He will come with a lying tongue and deceiving words. I will protect my own, and I will deliver them even out of the clutches of the enemy. Those that will be strong until the end, those that will be called to be living testimonies for my name's sake, will receive the crown of life. Let righteousness be your banner, and my word be your guide. Be rooted in the truth. As the dawn comes to chase away the night, so will the darkness rule only for its allotted time. Be strong in the knowledge that I protect and watch over all who are mine. Amen. Fight the good fight. You want to hear that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was on a large plane he's talking about a flat plane, like a field or, a flat, large plane. It seemed to go on forever. I couldn't see the edges, but I knew I was somehow very high. The clouds seemed so close to where I stood that if I reached out, I could see this plane covered with beautiful grass that was all the same height. The sky was calm and beautiful, and there was a feeling of peace in this place. There were no buildings, no trees, no flowers, just the earth and sky. As I continued to look around me, I saw a change in the sky. The clouds began to roll to the side, and I saw a city come down from the clouds. It continued to descend until it reached the ground where I stood. I was amazed by what I saw, and I began to study it intently. I have traveled the world a lot, but I have never seen anything like I was seeing. The entire structure was so beautiful that it took your breath away. It was all white, and it shone so brightly that one could barely look at it. It was so large that if I stood at one corner and looked to see the other end, I could not. As I was trying to find an entrance to this place, I studied the walls, and I couldn't make out what they were built from. It seemed that it was built as a whole, all from one giant mass. There were no bricks, there was no cracks in the wall, there was no mortar. As I stood to my left, there was a building that was very tall, and smaller buildings continued along the wall. It seemed like entire city was under one roof. Although the buildings were different, they were connected between themselves. As I continued to look, I saw the stairs that led to an entrance, and they shone brighter than anything I've ever seen. They were gigantic, as was the wall that surrounded the city. No one would be able to force their way into this place. I don't know what sort of material it was built from, but I got the impression that those inside could see out. Wanting to find out what waited inside, I began to climb the stairs. I didn't get very far because I heard a powerful voice which drowned out everything else. Stop. Even if I had wanted to continue walking, I could not. It was as if I was paralyzed. Tell my people that their worship toward me must be not out of fear, but out of love. Of what use will it be to them if I would tell them when the final hour will strike? What they must do is worship wholeheartedly. I have already sent them a guide. They have my word. In my word it has already been revealed that I will come as a thief in the night. Tell them that concern over tomorrow should not be found in them. They must be faithful and fight the good fight. Love me as I have loved them, living in love. Behold, destruction is fast approaching, but I will not hesitate to be a protector for my chosen. Those that sow mercy shall receive mercy from me. Tell my people not to worry about the season, but meditate on how they will stand before me. Urge them to prepare for the day when I will show my power. Look, when I turned, I saw a small child that was trying to climb the stairs. He tried, but because he was too small, he could not make the next step. His laughter, however, echoed like a bell. Even though he kept falling, he showed no signs of sadness, but just kept trying. Did I not leave you this parable as an example? Then everything disappears. And the last one is the bear awake. This was Dimitri's very last message before he passed. I knelt beside my bed to pray, as I do every night before I go to sleep. After finishing my prayer, I opened my eyes, but I was no longer in my room. Instead, I found myself in a forest. I looked around, and to my right, I saw a man dressed in white who pointed his finger and said, "See and remember." It took me a while to find out what he was pointing at. It was a small bear who seemed half dead, lying on the ground. As I continued to watch this bear, it began to breathe deeper. With every passing minute, it seemed to revive itself, and as I watched, it also became angrier. It then began to grow. Soon it was larger than the forest floor, and as it grew larger, it continued to become angrier. It then began to paw the ground, so that when its paw would hit the ground, the earth would shudder. The bear continued to devastate all that stood in its path until it came upon some men with sticks trying to fend it off. By this time, the bear became so large that it simply crushed the men underfoot and continued to rampage. I was stunned by what I saw, and I asked the man standing beside me, "What does this mean?" At first, they thought the bear was dead, the man said. As it will begin to start once again, they will consider it harmless. Suddenly, it will grow strong once more with purpose and violence. God will blind the eyes of those that continue to trample on the sacrifice of Christ's blood until the day the bear will strike swiftly. This day will catch them unprepared, and it will be just as you saw, the man then said. Tell my people the days are numbered and the sentence has been passed. If they will seek my face and walk in righteousness before me, I will open their eyes that they may see the danger approach. If they only look to the approaching danger, they too will be caught up and trampled underfoot. Only in righteousness will they find safety. Suddenly I was once again by myself in my room room on my knees with sweat covering my face. Most of West Virginia is mountainous. Where we live, we have a long valley. Moorfield has a beautiful valley, and we have two big mountain ranges on either side of it. So anywhere that you look, you see mountains. Beautiful big mountains. You know, I can just imagine when people first come here for the first time. That's probably what they stare at. If we live here, we get used to that, but that's probably what people stare at. And he made a remark to us when we took him to our house the first time. He looked around and he said, he told Michael, he said, this looks like a good place to live, you know. Well, I kind of took that to mean like, because that message was so fresh at the time, I was just kind of asking like, with what's coming, do you think this is a good place to live? And Dumitru was like, oh, I don't know. Because what Dumitru kind of let us know was, other than what the Lord showed him and what he put in his books or what he told people personally, word for word, what he saw, he didn't know anything else. He didn't know that it was going to happen. He just knew that it's going to happen. So he couldn't give you any certainty. He didn't know anything else. He told you everything, That's just kind of, what I saw. Now, as far as these things I just read here, the lawless one, I would say that's about the Antichrist. I don't know what you think maybe that is, but that's what it kind of every single day, And his servants, that's what they will face, opposition every day. So, and Dumitru, he faced opposition coming here, and he faced human beings who were in opposition, and he didn't, I saw him do it with love. He wasn't offended. Yeah. And, truthfully, it's kind of like this. When somebody opposes the Word of God, opposes God's servant, where in the Scripture they talk about many, the Antichrist spirit. There's many of that just went out, which is different than the person of the Antichrist. But, that's basically what it is.
Why don't we try to get you to hang up and call in again? Okay. I got everybody unmuted here too if anybody has a question or any thoughts to share. Hopefully she'll be able to get back online. Yeah. We really had a hard time getting Roxanne on tonight. In fact, the last couple of hours she's been, what was going on was Diana from West Virginia. She called Diana, and then Diana put up two phones together so that we could hear Roxanne because her phone was not working or her line wasn't working. There was a lot of static, so, she couldn't even get it online. She called several times and could not get in. So that's how we ended up having to do it. But we didn't even get started until like 20 minutes into the call at 9 o'clock. We're on God's timeline. And so, and 1,000 years to the Lord, one day is 1,000 years, 1,000 years is one day. And so this has only been 1984, 1991. I mean, in 1991 when he was going through West Virginia, and by the way, I don't think Roxanne shared this, but West Virginia, that part of the country that he was preaching in, had a flood, the flood of 1985. It was a disastrous flood, caused a lot of devastation, and then like 5-6 years later in 1991, Dumitru Duduman is preaching in that area. And obviously to me, that would be an area that's ripe for response, you would think, that they would be well cultivated of heart and soul to receive a message like that. And so it's interesting that that was the one particular part of West Virginia that God sent him to cover that area where the flooding took place in 1985. So she didn't make it back. Okay, let me see. I'm going to go find a text message. I don't know why she cannot get on. She's never had this problem before. Okay, well, she's saying just wrap up. Maybe I shouldn't have had her go. I guess we should have left it well enough alone. Did you guys hear that buzzing sound starting to come through? Yeah. Well, maybe she's trying to get on, but yeah, she did a really good job. We were just about finished. We're just about done there. Yeah, it's very humbling, and I think that this is about going back and exploring, because prophetic words are always, they're forth-telling and foretelling. And so whenever they're given, they're never in their time. And that's the paradox. People hear the prophecies and they get all stirred up about it, and then life goes on, life happens, and they never, they kind of get tucked away or put on the shelf or even forgotten. And if ever we were in the time of these words, these prophetic words, we are in them now. So I'm going to go ahead and put a link if you guys haven't found his website. I'm going to go ahead and put a link on my web page for Into the Night, and you guys will be able to go and just click that link and go in and find his website, and then go in and hit the menu and find the dreams and visions and just go through them. His son also continued the ministry, his grandson that interpreted for him. So if anybody would know Dumitru Duduman and his message, it would definitely be his grandson, because his grandson did travel with him, and Roxanne had met him, and like she said, her son and his grandson drove around. He was test driving because he was learning how to drive, and was driving around on her property, and had a cute little story about that and some pictures. But he's an adult man now. He's taken on his grandfather's ministry and continued with it. It looks like that he also inherited the prophetic gift, and he also has his dreams and visions. Yeah, he has a good handle on end time prophecy and all that. So his visions and dreams are in there too as well. So yeah, it was anointed and a blessing, and she did a really good job. I just hate how much trouble she had getting on. But and then now not being able to get back on with us to finish this off. But God bless you for being with us tonight. And guess what? I did get to record it, so that's going to go up on our podcast, and then that goes up on YouTube. So, well, love you guys. Good night, and talk to you soon. Love you. Good night. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, I am a child of God.